can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Niall. Delighted as always to be joined by Paul Kelly, and we're here in preview mode for this weekend's big cruiserweight world title clash between the hometown hero Joy Opetaia, who puts his IBF and Ring Magazine titles on the line, against the quite unheralded challenger from Italy, Claudio Squeo, in Queensland, Australia, this Sunday. Yeah, it's a matchup that's got a lot of kind of divided opinions, but we're going to be giving our thoughts on what may be next for Joy Opetaia. So yeah, before we get into things, please make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on all social media. We'd really appreciate it. Paul, let's jump straight in. I hope you're well as always. Thanks for jumping on. As I mentioned in the intro there, it's a bit of a kind of it got an interesting reaction when this one was announced. It's been a little bit of a team now with Joy Opetaia's opponents. What is your kind of overall thoughts and kind of prediction on this matchup, Opetaia against Squeo?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, mate. Looking forward to this simply because Jai Opetaia's compulsive viewing, I think. Yes, the bit of a frustrating opponent here again, but I don't think it's his fault. There's some people kind of maybe questioning whether we'll ever see Opetaia in huge fights. I don't think that's through any fault of his own. He clearly wants all of these big fights. Maybe other fighters just don't want to fight him. So yeah, I'll keep this relatively short and sweet. I think Jai Opetaia finishes this fight whenever he wants, to be perfectly honest. I think Square's got such a padded record. I think he'll get nailed. I could see Jai Opetaia adding another highlight reel stoppage here. If he doesn't win this via stoppage before the sixth round, I'll be shocked. Um, I think he could maybe download the data, what we kind of like to say, for a few rounds, but ultimately wouldn't surprise me if he just starts to pull the trigger in from round two, three, four onwards and just gets Square out of there. As soon as he hits him flush on the chin, I don't think the Italian fighter will want to know, to be perfectly honest. But I could be wrong, but it's just hard to see anything other than an emphatic Jai Opetaia stoppage. So yeah, I'm going to go Opetaia. I'm going to go via stoppage, and I'm going to go within the first half of the fight.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of disagree with anything you've said there. On the opponents, it is deeply frustrating, especially with the clear talent that Joy Opetaia has. But as you say, through no fault of his own, really, which is the most annoying thing. We know Billum Smith maybe kind of didn't want much to do with him, but hopefully he can get big fights soon after this. And yeah, as you say, I think it's a bit of a whitewash in terms of competitiveness. This is Squeo is unbeaten, but as you say, no standout names at all on that record. Um, it's become a team with the kind of IBF, the IBF challengers that have worked themselves into good positions. Kind of unheralded names, but he is a decent fighter. Squeo, technically good, built like a house. He looks so physically strong. He's not the fastest, and yeah, I just don't think he does anything better than Joy Opetaia, really. Not many fighters do, to be honest with you, but yeah, Joy Opetaia is way too quick, way too well-rounded for him, and yeah, as you said, I think you hit the nail on the head perfectly there. If it's not done before 6 rounds, I would be surprised. So yeah, I'll go with 4 rounds, fourth round stoppage for Joy Opetaia. I know we're being disrespectful to Squeo, and we probably should. It's a pity we can't go into really more in-depth analysis about it, but it is what it is. It'd be a huge upset if Squeo won. It really would. But yeah, that's our kind of predictions on the fight. And as we mentioned there, frustration at Joy Opetaia not getting these big fights at 200 pounds. People seem to think that he would unify the division. He would go undisputed. What is your thoughts on that? Do you think he is the best cruiserweight in the world, and would he beat the names such as Zurdo Ramirez, Badu Jack, these type of names?
Yeah, mate, I think he beats Badou Jack at this stage, doesn't he? Badou Jack didn't look great against Noah McKaylen. I mean, there might be rematching, but did Badou Jack win that fight? Probably not. I think he beats him. Don't think that fight will ever happen. I don't think. I think Badou Jack himself probably knows that the Jai Opetaia would beat him, and that's no disrespect. Badou Jack's been a great fighter for years. Um, Zurdo Ramirez, I think that's a more tricky fight than some people are letting on. I think Zurdo is quality. I used to trying to maybe slated him a little bit for having a padded record when he was down at super middleweight. But since he has kind of moved up, um, to be fair to him, he has looked pretty good. He looked very good against Chris Billum Smith, I think. I think he made Billum Smith look very basic in that fight. Good win. Be interesting to see how he gets on in a few weeks against Dorticus. Obviously a big puncher, but I expect him to win that. And then with the timeline, if you look at it, like both fighting in June here, could Opetaia Zurdo happen next? There's no reason why it shouldn't, in my opinion. So yeah, I do have Opetaia as number one. I haven't beaten Zurdo Ramirez and everybody else. But the Zurdo fight, it's not a foregone conclusion, put it that way. But I still have Opetaia winning that. Um, would it go points potentially? That one maybe. I'm not so sure, but yeah, I do have him as the outstanding number one at cruiserweight, mate.
Yeah, again, I think I agree definitely. Hopefully we get to see these fights, but I do think that Zurdo Ramirez does give him a lot of trouble. Zurdo is looking better fight by fight. You know, that Billum Smith fight was probably the best I've ever seen him perform. To be quite honest with you, it was a punch perfect performance. Yeah, and I think he does give Opetaia all he can handle, but again, I can't really bet against Opetaia, to be honest with you. So hopefully we do get to see them, and it needs to be soon, to be honest with you. Just quickly before we wrap up, I know it's probably jumping a bit into the future, but if Joy Opetaia was to conquer cruiserweight and then move up to the big boys at heavyweight, could you see him causing people trouble up there or winning a world title?
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna say yes, just because. I think he's a nightmare. Like, he's so spiteful. Like, he wants to take your head off. See, after a couple of rounds, he just looks like he wants. He does. He just looks like he actually wants to do you serious damage, doesn't he? Scary individual. Interviewed him before as well. Felt a bit intimidated. Um, yeah, I think he can. I think yeah, he's not the biggest, but then you look at dimension wise, Usyk, what same, roughly the same height. Maybe Usyk a little taller up a time, maybe 6'2". I'd maybe hazard a guess that he's perhaps 6'3". The southpaw stance will cause people issues, and just because of the nature of the way he fights, the way like he's kind of a lot of movement and then bang throws up shots. I think that could catch a lot of heavyweights off guard, and just the speed that he would have over some of the heavyweights. I think he could. I mean, I don't know. Will it be soon? Will it be 2026, 2027, beyond? I do believe that Jabata moves up to heavyweight and becomes world champion. Who he beats at heavyweight, I think it depends on the landscape, I suppose. But yeah, right here, right now, if I had to say, yes, Jabata becomes a world heavyweight champion as well.
Yeah, I do agree again. Just to round off, echo everything you said. I think the attributes that he has, the speed, the footwork, southpaw, heavy hands, fast hands. I think he caused a lot of people problems up there. But that's for another day. That's for a little bit further down the road. Joy Opetaia has Claudio Squeo to get past first this Sunday in Queensland, Australia, for his IBF from Ring Magazine Cruiserweight World Titles. That was myself and Paul giving our quick preview for that one. Let us know what you think. What do you make of this fight? Do you give Scale more of a chance than we do? Let us know. And yeah, what's next for Joy Opetaia in your opinion? Get involved down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing and follow us on all social media. Paul, it was a pleasure and take care.
Cheers, mate. All the best.